What's up, everybody? It's your girl Karma. How are y'all doing? First thing I would like to address is my cold. Yes, I have a cold, so I'm apologizing for my voice in the video. Second thing I would like to address is all the support that you guys have shown me on the last video is super appreciated. My video's blown up, and I can't be thankful enough. My Twitch stream has just hit 800 subscribers on my Twitch stream. We're about to pass 70,000 followers. That's insane. My Discord for the Karmy, the supporters of me, is Karmy, if you're new here. That has been growing like crazy. Twitter, I just posted a highlight of a goal I scored on my stream the other day, which is pretty nuts, and it has like 50,000 views on Twitter, something crazy like that. So all the support lately has been insane. I just want to thank you very much. All the links to my Discord, my Twitch stream, my Twitter is down in the description below. Also, I would like to ask you guys what you want to see from me in terms of content. I want to listen to you. You guys are my boss. So please take a second out of your day, or a minute out of your day. Think about what you want to see from a Rocket League player, pro player. I realize you guys like the coaching videos. There will be more coaching videos. So don't put that. Put something else that you want to see from a Rocket League player. And then browse through the comments and see if there's something that someone else has written that you enjoy, and thumbs it up so that I can see it and I can get visually an appreciation for what you guys want to see. So yeah, thank you guys so much for all the support lately. I'm creatively challenged, so I really appreciate it. I'm gonna do another mechanic video today and another life story video. Kind of a sad one if you guys want to listen, but if you guys have already done the last mechanical warm-up video that I talked about, here's another 2 warm-up maps that you can do if you want to spice it up a bit, splice it up a bit, or you want to change it. Just do some new stuff. Today we're going to do the speed jump 2. Depending on how long that takes, we'll do this one as well. But I don't know how long it's going to take, and if it's too long, I'm just going to do one. And we'll also see how long the story time lasts. So yeah, thank you guys so much for the support lately. And I really appreciate that you guys really liked my last video and my openness about, you know, my challenges as a Rocket League professional. And I just wanted to say, like, if you're kind of going through a struggle in life, or you went through a big relationship breakup, or a family member has passed away, or a friend has passed away, it's okay to take time, and sometimes you might not ever get over it. But it's okay to just let yourself be emotional. Don't try and mask your emotions and be a man, or, you know, try and be tough. You can when you're in front of your family, but you need to have someone or something that you can open up to and let your emotions out and let you deal with those problems. And so yeah, a little bit story mode about me, since you guys like that. And I find it I don't like talking about myself, contrary to popular belief, but it's the only thing that I know in this world, so I'm gonna talk about it a little bit. So when my mom was pregnant with me, first of all, she wished on a shooting star that she would be pregnant, which is a very, very cool story. She's told me that a bunch of times. She saw a shooting star, she wished that she would get pregnant, and boom, I was pregnant. So the theory is that I'm from Mars, and that shooting star was a spaceship, and I got put into my mom's stomach while she was sleeping, so I'm a Martian, which, you know, I love that. So but on a real note, I mean, that is a real note, but you guys aren't gonna believe me. So, oops. So yeah. Actually, before I get into the story, that was a little teaser. Someone asked me why I always spin. Karma, why do you always spin in your mechanical warm-up? There are a few reasons. One, the first reason is, if I did this normally, it'd be very boring. I already have the mechanics to do this normally. I'm a professional player. There's no reason for me to be flying through the map like this. Like, I have this down pat. I don't need to practice that. The reason that I'm spinning is because of 2 things. One, I'm a weird player and I'm always spinning in the air. Because spinning, if I'm already spinning, it's 1 less action that I have to undertake. So if I had to jump and then realize I had to spin and then started spinning and then stopped spinning, it's 1 less action for me to do, whereas if I jump and I'm already spinning, oops, as long as it doesn't hinder my speed, I'm pretty much always spinning. The other reason is because, the other reason is because of recovery. Whenever I'm going to do stuff in, whenever I'm going to do stuff in the air, there's no telling where my car is going to be facing. Okay. Whatever. Full tilts. Whenever I'm recovering, there's no way to tell which way my car is going to be facing. So, spinning all the time like this, it puts it subconsciously in my mind what I have to do to recover, because I've been doing these for hours, so I don't really have to think about it anymore. It's all about just practicing things so much to the point where I don't have to think about any of these things anymore. I just do it naturally. Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, before I was even born, I had what is called a pre-existing condition. I'm not going to go into detail as to what my pre-existing condition is, because it's very personal, and if you guys were to Google it, it's so much more complicated than anything you'd Google, and I would just rather keep that to myself out of respect for me. Hopefully you don't mind that. But it's what's known as a pre-existing condition. It's very rare. Only 1 in a million or 1 in 1.5 billion people have it. And I was born with 2 conditions, not just 1. My doctors told my mom basically, like, by the way, when you have her, she's going to immediately need surgery if she's going to survive at all. So my mom knew at about 6 months pregnant that I was going to immediately need surgery if I was going to survive at all, which they didn't even know if I would. Kids with my condition were surviving, but it was at not a good rate. So basically out of the womb I had kind of a rocky start, and I grew up in the hospital. I was in the hospital until I was about 6 months old, and then my parents were allowed to take me home. But I was in and out of the hospital pretty much my entire life until I was about 8 or 9, 10 years old. I've had 30 plus surgeries. If you go to the beach with me, you will see all of my scars, which I'm not ashamed of. I enjoy showing them off. Usually, what is happening here? It keeps skipping me in levels. Do you guys see that? Yeah, anyway, I enjoy showing off my scars. It's pretty funny for people who don't know me. I tell them about how I got into a shark attack. Sometimes I say I got into a fight with a bear. And when you're sitting there, with someone who has scars on them like I do, you can't really argue with them when they're telling you a story. So some of the faces that I get are freaking hilarious. And you guys are probably imagining like some girl with like a billion scars on me. I mean, I do have a lot, but it's not that bad. They're noticeable for sure, but it's not. I mean, I don't look like some monster. I'm adorable. So, anyways, enough of the sad part of my life. So the issue that I have is chronic. It will never go away, and it's just something that I've learned to deal with my entire life. And I wouldn't change that. If I had to do it all over again, I mean, I'd probably do that the exact same way as I always did. I would just live my life over again exactly the same way, because I really appreciate what my condition has taught me. This is kind of a sickening thing to say, but I don't mean it in the way that it sounds, is that I wish all kids grew up the way I did, because it really makes you appreciate things in life. Life, for example. Just living. I was in a constant battle for my life when I was younger, so just being able to live and you know, be appreciative for things you have. Not that I'm like some perfect person, I'm not at all, but I do think that going through what I've gone through is good for people, and I would do it again if given the opportunity. Oh my, no. So, yeah, that's the first 6 years of my life or so. During these years, I was basically born an athlete. I was born in the hospital. I used to ask for little balls, and I'd throw them in the trash all the time. Or I would juggle them in my bed. because in the hospital, oops, there really isn't anything to do. And when I was younger, there wasn't such thing as like HD TVs. Oh my god, I sound old. There wasn't anything like, I mean, there was Nintendo 64, but there's like one in the hospital. There wasn't a lot. And there just wasn't much to do. So I just, you know, tossed the ball around in the the medical room and stuff like that, in the hospital room with my parents. And I loved sports. Loved it. So growing up, I was an athlete. I would consider myself an athlete anyway. I played multiple sports. I was, when I was in 3rd grade, I played on the 6th grade basketball team for the girls, because 3rd grade was too easy. I was fucking clapping out there, boys. I was very, very good at basketball. But I was hindered by my medical condition always, even though I managed to push through it and still perform at an extremely high level. There was always that nagging, hindering, that my medical condition would prevent me to do certain things, which is just a reality. And it's something I never complained about because I always dealt with it, so it didn't seem like anything other than, you know, what it always had been to me. So, played basketball. I was nuts at that. I have an ego when it comes to basketball. I am very good, or I was very good at basketball. I have a huge ego when it comes to basketball. Because that is the thing that I practiced since I was a kid. I was nuts at that game. I also played baseball. My dad told me to be a pitcher when I was playing baseball with my friends. So I signed up for the boys league and I made a team as a pitcher. Pretty sure everyone made a team, so that wasn't really a big deal. But then I made the all-star team as a pitcher when I was younger with all the other boys. I had a nasty curveball, which now scientists say, or alright, we'll do the other one because that one took 10 minutes. Scientists say that that is bad for your shoulder, so good thing I stopped playing baseball when I was younger. Alright, the second was called Speed Jump Boost. Alright, so this is where we turn our boost off. Oh, there it is. So, where was I? So yeah, I played baseball. And I enjoyed that. Then I switched to oh no. Dang, I got cocky. I switched from baseball to baseball and basketball to lacrosse and basketball and soccer, which for you European viewers is football. And I really enjoyed that. And then basketball just kind of took over my life. I was on a team sponsored by my state called the Bay State Magic. We were a national team. We competed in nationals and stuff like that. Loved that. Sorry, someone just Steam messaged me, so I'm a little distracted. And, yeah. Played basketball pretty much my entire life until about 9th grade. So that national team that I mentioned that we played on, we finished... I forget where we finished. I don't know. I want to say, like, top 15 in the country. We weren't, like, number 1 or anything like that. But we were getting scouted by top colleges around the country in 8th grade. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how good we were and what kind of level we played at. Or at least I was. I don't know if everyone on my team was. I haven't talked to them in a while. Because, I mean, a lot of my girls, or the girls on our team, were being scouted by other teams, so I'm sure that they also get offers from colleges as well. So, long story longer, after basketball, I was all excited to go into high school. And one of the problems for me in my medical condition is that I really am struggle to gain weight. And when you're playing basketball and you don't gain weight, and you're going against these behemoth other girls, like the biggest girls you've ever seen in your life, they go to the gym and you don't, type of stuff. It's kind of monk-esque. It's pretty scary. And the doctors were looking at me, and the coaches were looking at me. And even though I was extremely talented, they were afraid that I was going to get hurt. So I had to give up basketball. My doctors were basically like, yeah, we know you love it, but you can't play. So I was really, really sad. Very, very... That was probably the worst part. The worst moment in my life. I dropped out of high school. For a year, I was so depressed. I just stayed in my room, played RuneScape all day with a hood on. I didn't really want to think about my life. I felt like everything had been taken away from me. I'd entered this like period of just like sadness, pretty much. And which is normal, I think, for maybe not normal, but for me it was normal. That's how I dealt with what I was dealing with. So I dropped out of high school for a year, and I went to this other school for like troubled kids, I guess you could say. Troubled kids is the wrong word. It was just an alternative education program for a year, and then I went back to my normal school and graduated, but I graduated a year after all of my class did, which was pretty sad. I really wanted to graduate with people in my class. And, yeah, the hard part for me was that I never really was friends with anyone, but I was cool with everybody. Does that make sense? Like I had people, everyone liked me, but I was never friends with anyone. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can explain that. Like, walking down the hallways, everyone would be like, hey, Jamie, hey, what's up, hey, you know. But then, I would never get asked to, like, parties or anything like that. Or, like, that's not true. One group of girls did ask me to go places a few times, and I said no, because I was sad and I wanted to stay home and play games, but for the most part, so shout out to those girls. If you're watching, Lily, Leah, I appreciate you, I'm sorry. But, yeah, I was just kind of that type of kid. And, the only person I had in my life was my boyfriend at the time. Who I mentioned in the previous video. I don't like to talk about very much, for obvious reasons. But, yeah. And, I forget where I was going with this. Oh, then I decided, okay, because of the way my high school went, even though I graduated with 4.0 or whatever it was, the highest grades, even though I barely attended school. School was very boring to me, and I did not like it. It was not a challenge. School was very easy. I didn't have to study. I don't think I ever studied for a test. I don't think that I had to... This sounds like I'm bragging, but unfortunately it's just how it was. I barely ever did any homework. It was just boring to me. Every time the teacher would talk, I felt like they were talking about something I already knew. Somehow I'd learned it, whether it was in the book or they had already done a lecture on it, and I didn't need to listen 20 times because once I hear something, typically I learn it if I'm paying attention. And, so yeah, I ended up going to college because my parents wanted me to. I was pre-med / nursing school. And, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I asked my mom, after a year med school, if I could take a year off, or as long as I paid her an extremely high rent, or what was equal to my college. So whatever she was going to pay for my college, which was very low because I had gotten scholarships. Anyway, whatever I was going to pay for college, I offered to pay her from Twitch. As long as I could pay that, I'd be able to stay home and, you know, pursue my whatever. My dream of becoming a Twitch memer. So I did. And then, you guys know, kind of from the Rocket League onward, my career. But I started out as a okay, restart this level. I started out as a Hearthstone streamer. Hey guys, so the audio cut out and the video corrupted for this part of the video. So I'm just gonna do this last obstacle here, and yeah, so I hope you enjoyed the kind of life story part 2. Basically what I was trying to show there is that, you know, even if life gets rough sometimes, you just kind of gotta tough it out, and as sappy as it sounds, everything happens for a reason. And, you know, just kind of tough it out. And you'll be alright, you'll come out better on top of it. It's character building. So, I apologize for the corrupted video, but it's getting near 20 minutes anyway. So if you enjoyed, please, again, take a minute to comment down below what you want to see from this channel. If you enjoyed the video and moving forward. So have a good one.